Hi friends, welcome back to another video. We are going to do a quick check-in of the budget and see how I did with my spending this week. You will notice that I have another binder. I did begin working on this binder and I will be kind of sharing with you what, oh my goodness, all those little plastic things are coming out. But I will begin sharing with you what I'm going to use this binder for. I have also considered, well, I have kind of shifted some categories from the short-term binder to the long-term binder, so we will talk about that. But let's see how we are doing so far. Again, you can always head over to Mindfully Maya and download a free copy of the Mindfully Plan planner template. I'm doing great with my goals. I could do better here with working out, guys. I really could. But I feel like I've been doing good with my budget. I have been more mindful about myself and my Bible reading plan, and just kind of my spiritual journey has been going very well. I don't have anything else to add to my calendar. I feel like I do a pretty good job of like outlining everything that I need to do for the month, and I haven't had anything kind of pop up and sneak up on me. So this is the monthly budget that I showed you guys a few weeks ago when I was planning out my bills for January. And then this is kind of the paycheck breakdown. I did make a little bit of a mistake there, but this is pretty much just all income that I've received for the month. And this is a little bit skewed. Let's say this is all the income that I have to budget after some fixed savings and fixed investing that happens behind the scenes has already taken place. So this is the number I was starting with, and you'll kind of see what my expenses are looking like for the month and just kind of what will be left over to go to savings. So a lot of my expenses are fixed. They don't change. The only thing that varies, you'll kind of see, because it's obvious that the amount was not what I had budgeted. It just is something that varies. So anything related to property, it's always going to be this amount, and that is already done. My water bill, I budgeted $50 and it was $43.68. So we had some positive money there. My electric bill, I budgeted $150 and it came in at $173.97. So we were a little underwater there. Around this time of the year, especially in Nashville, we get all 4 seasons sometimes in the same week. And we've definitely had that. We had 75-degree weather on Christmas and then it snows. So craziness has happened, and I anticipate that my February bill is probably going to be a little bit more expensive, and then it will go back down. So, and I know a lot of people will say, well, just do the where they average and budget your electric bill. It's just not really worth it for me to do that. I know that my January and February bill is going to be higher. It just will be, and then it will go back down, and it just is what it is. And then gas, this is like my gas for my car. I give myself $90 a month, so $45 per paycheck, because everywhere I need to go is it's close to where I live. So I don't drive a lot. And my gas for the first part of this month came in at $35. So I had $10 extra. And then these are the bills that will be paid with the second paycheck of the month, which I shared in my initial budget that these bills were paid with the paycheck at the end of December that I got at Christmas. And then the second paycheck that I consider for January, I was paid on the 7th of January. And then when I get paid next week on the 21st, I will be budgeting for February. So it is a little bit off, but that's just what happens a lot of the times when you are paid bi-weekly. It just is what it is. So my alarm, most of my bills are on a draft that happens on the 22nd of the month. Like most of the ones for the second paycheck happen on the 22nd. I have a couple that are the 25th. So my alarm is $29.99. That is fixed. It won't change. it is what it is. My home insurance is $85. Car insurance is $84. It is, I mean, it changes annually, but it won't change each month. Gas, I know how much gas is right now, and I know how many fuel points that I have. So I am going to fill up, and I should spend about $40, and I feel like I will have extra. And then because I have this 10 from here, should I need gas again, I have like a $15 buffer, but again, I know where I'm going, and no, it'll be okay. My life insurance for my kids comes out on the 22nd at $28, and then my gym membership is $58, and my internet is $80. That's the same. Phone service for myself and my kids, $185. TV service is $54.74, and that will stay the same until April. So I did switch my TV service, and it's working out very well. I like it. I actually like it better than the service that I've had for years. So I did switch my TV service, and it's $54.74. And then my envelopes are $4.55. And that I do $4.55 each paycheck. Now, there are some things that will change in my budget starting in February. I don't like to make mid-month changes. I just like to start on a fresh month. So we will do like a final check-in to make sure all of these things pan out. But this should be the amount. $1247.62 is the amount that will go into my high yield savings account to account for my summer funds, my life insurance sinking fund. That's my life insurance that I pay annually, and then my property taxes. And this number is going to change. I used to just kind of try to plan for like half of it, but my property taxes are through the, like, I'm over it. They're ridiculous. So this number will become $151, and I'm just going to do my best to save for it all versus like part of it. So I am going to change that in February. I have already made up the difference for January just with my buffer money to make sure that it's in the savings account, but I am going to change that in February. So you'll see that in the updated February totals. So now we're going to see how the money is going. So last week we did spend some money. And, you know, we went through that budget, and a lot of my envelopes were empty. And then I did restuff them, and I shared that the funds that I placed in this binder on that day last Friday, had to last for the remainder of the month because it was for the second half of January. And so let's just check in and see what we have left for the remaining 2 weeks. So we are dealing with this week, which is the week of the 8th. And let's just see how it went. Grab my pen here. So food is always, you know, something that a category that I'm going to track. And so when we stuffed for food last week, there was $13 left over from the previous stuffing, and I added $200. So there was a total of $213. Here are my receipts. I don't have a reason to lie. And here's the funds in the envelope. Now the change, I'm just going to add that to my coin jar over here. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in because I'm like doing all that right now with counting the change. It matters because it's money, but we'll do that later. So we had, we started off at $213 in the food envelope. And I spent $64 at Walmart. That's $149. McKinley had a Wacky Pack from Sonic for $3. And $146 should be our remaining balance. So let's see how much money we have. 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 30, 45, 6. $146. Now this $146, as I stated, I'm not putting any new money in these envelopes because there is no money to put in the envelopes. It just is what it is. And it's going to have to last us next week. And let me kind of slide this over. It's going to have to last us next week and the week after. I'm going to close out this month on the 28th and start February fresh with that January 30th, because that will lead into the first week of February. We'll talk about this in a moment because, as I stated, I am going to start stuffing a little bit differently with February. So we spent, I said it was $213 in there. So that means I spent $67 out of my food budget. So let me put this back, because this $146 has to last us for 2 weeks, which it'll be fine. We will be fine. So I'm gonna put that back in there. And so food, I spent $67 and I have $146 for our rollover, and we will see how that works. So last week I spent my $25 for my personal money, and I stuffed $25. So I have not spent my personal funds. Yay me, I still have $25. So I did not spend anything. I'm doing good, y'all. And the same for the girls. Micaiah had $25 stuffed, and she did not spend it, so it's still there. And then McKinley had $25 stuffed, and she didn't spend it, so her $25 is still there. So I'll update those totals for our like personal kind of allowance. So I spent $0. McKinley and Micaiah spent $0. So we still have our $25 in our envelopes. Now in our fun envelope last week, we had $25 in rollover, and then I did stuff this envelope with an additional $50. We haven't spent any money. We were snowed in, and the fun that we had was free fun around the house, playing in the snow and things like that. So we didn't spend any money. So we have $20, $40, $60, $75. So we are supposed to get snow again. Oh my goodness, guys, on Sunday. We're supposed to get snow again on Sunday. So we'll see. So we didn't spend anything. So fun has $75. Household, I did spend it last week. There was nothing in here. And then I stuffed it with $10 for the remainder of the month. And that $10 is still there. I did not have to spend anything out of household. Medical is the same way. I spent it last week for my prescriptions, and so I stuffed this $10 last week. I have not spent anything in medical. It is still there. So we did $0 spending in household and medical, so they still have their $10. And then we have our gifts. I did not spend any money in gifts. It had $10, and then I stuffed the remaining $10 because it is allotted $20 each month. I did not spend anything this week for gifts, but we will. McKinley's, one of her really good friends and her little girl crew, has a birthday coming up, so we will have to purchase a gift. But so far we didn't spend anything, and gifts has $20. And then clothing, last week for clothing, I spent the $25 in clothing, and it had no rollover, but I did restuff it with $25, and we did not buy any clothing this week. So $25 remains. And then we didn't spend anything, so there's still $25. So let's talk about car maintenance. And you don't see the envelope in here because I feel like some of the envelopes that I had in here were more long-term binder envelopes. And so I mentioned that starting in February, I am going to stuff differently, and I am. So I am going to look at my budget a little bit differently. I'm going, instead of just having one food envelope, I'm going to separate food, meaning like groceries, and then restaurants. So I did add this envelope. I didn't stuff it because I'm not going to start stuffing this way until February. So I did add a restaurants envelope. The other envelope that I'm adding is personal care. I'm going to add $30 for personal care. And I did go ahead and add this. I feel like this is a short-term binder cost. So I added these two envelopes, but I will not begin stuffing differently until February. And my envelope allotment is going to go up slightly, not a lot. So I am going to separate food into groceries and restaurants. Fun is going to go to $60. Household is going to be $30 instead of $10. Clothing is going to be $60 instead of $100. I'm sorry, instead of $50. And then we are still going to get our $50. So McKinley, Micaiah, and myself, we will still have $50. Personal care will be $30. Medical is going to be $20 for the month. Gifts will be $20 for the month, and Christmas will still be $100. Car maintenance will still be $50. But I will, as I stated, stuff these a little bit differently. You saw that I added those two envelopes there. And then in my long-term binder, which is the pink binder that I have here, I moved car maintenance over to this binder because I feel that that is more long-term. And for car maintenance, it has $20, $40, and $50 because it gets $50 for the month, and I have not spent anything out of car maintenance. So I feel like that's more of a long-term thing. So I'm going to just leave that there. And I moved it over to this pink binder, which is going to be my long-term binder. I also removed Christmas from my short-term binder because Christmas is not, obviously I'm not buying Christmas gifts, right? So I've stuffed this. I've had two stuffings for the month of January. So it has 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, which is what it gets every single month. And I am going to continue to stuff the envelope, but I'm going to add them to keep them in this binder, separated from like the everyday money. So some envelopes that I did add is rollover. So rollover, as we are looking at our budget, and after we close out the month and I handle my $1 savings challenges, $5 savings challenges, this amount in the end of month savings, I'm going to put in this rollover envelope. And I am not going to create any more, I guess I'm not going to increase my envelope budget at all. That $970 is what it's going to be. But I feel like I can be more mindful about my spending and have money left over to go into this rollover envelope so that I can begin stuffing other envelopes, such as like home maintenance. I made a home maintenance envelope because I want it to be separate from just the regular household where I'm buying tissue and paper towels and things like that. I want this to be more for the long-term home maintenance things, like change the filters, the type of filters that I have. I change them every 90 days. Also, like, you know, anything that kind of happens, like a garbage disposal or something has issues, like, then we'll come into the home maintenance, right? I don't know, we break a blind or something. That comes out of home maintenance. And I feel like that's more of a long-term thing that I would normally like go into like my emergency fund or savings for. And I want to see if I can budget very well to where I can have rollover money to stuff like these types of envelopes. I have extra envelopes. I don't know what I want to put in these yet. So you guys comment down below and let me know what you think I should create categories for. One that I do believe I'm going to make is one for my classroom. I spend money on my students all the time, but I typically would just sacrifice myself and spend my personal money. So I think I want to create an envelope for my classroom, and just, you know, like, I don't know. I just feel like they need their own envelope because I do spend money on my students. All teachers do, like, we do. And so then I want you guys to kind of help me figure out what I'm going to do with these other envelopes. But so far, that is what I have, and that is the rationale behind the 2 binders. So this is going to be the long-term binder, and I'm going to keep this on hand for the short term. And so that is what our budget is looking like. That's what our money's looking like. We still have 2 more weeks. So we'll see. I feel like we did very well with spending, like literally I spent money in the food category, but I did not spend any money anywhere else. So car maintenance, I didn't spend anything. And so it has its total $50. So I feel like we did very well. I think if I am worried anywhere, it might be here a little bit. Like we have food. Obviously we do. But that $146 would have to last us for 2 more weeks. So we are going to have about $73 for food each week if we kind of break it down over the 2 weeks that's remaining, which, I mean, guys, it's going to be okay. The issue will probably be me eating out instead of cooking. But I was a short order cook when we were snowed in. And I've done good this week because even though McKinley wanted to eat out, like I didn't, I still cooked at home. So that was fine. And then I think we may go try to do something fun, maybe bowling or something. So that some money may come out of there. But yeah, I think that we'll be fine. And I believe that even out of these totals, we will have money that can go into our rollover envelope and we can begin to stuff some of those other categories. So I think that's like the challenge for me. Like if I can cut this spending even more, because I know that I can. I know that anytime you put your attention to something, like you're going to gain traction, you're going to have movement, right? And incremental progress is still progress. So I feel like if I could really cut some of these categories and really budget, I'm not saying I'm going to go, do the whole, what is Dave Ramsey says, rice and beans, beans and rice or whatever. Like we're going to live our lives. Like we're going to have a good life. But I know that I can be more intentional and cut some of these expenses. So very proud of myself this week. Comment down below. Give me your thoughts. But I was a little scared because I didn't want to start this video like, hey friends, let's talk. See what had happened was. So I need to tell y'all something. Like I didn't want to start out that way. Because then y'all know I done showed all the way out. And I know I still got 2 weeks to go. So while I'm proud of myself, I still need to, be like, okay, girl, you got 2 weeks. So this is what we're looking like so far. Let me know what you guys think. This will be the new February envelope budget. And then I feel like at the end of the month, we're going to have some more celebrations. That is my goal. I'm going to hold myself accountable for that. Again, leave me a comment down below. Give this video a big thumbs up. Continue to share with your friends and family. Y'all, I didn't try to do anything with press on nails, glue on nails, whatever. I was going to Target. Someone told me to try gel nail polish, and I was going to Target. And y'all know if I would have walked in Target, it would have just went. This right here would have just been zeros. But I didn't go. I went into my little closet because I know I keep nail polish. Obviously, like I'm a girl mom, and I'm like, I know I have nail polish. And you guys told me just go get gel nail polish and it'll be fine. And so I found this color in the nail polish. So I just filed my nails down and all that stuff, and I'm still using my little Burt's Bees hand salve. Like this stuff is good. And then I just painted them this little pretty little pink. I love pink, y'all. I love pink. So this is what we got going on this week. I do have a box of like gel, the ones with just like the, what do you call it, y'all? Like the sticker or something on there. I don't know, because I did spend my $7.99. I think I'm going to use them, but not this week. So maybe next week. But I'm babbling at this point. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys in our next video, which will be on Sunday for some cleaning motivation. And then I'll be back every Friday for Finance Friday, where we can check in on our money, hold each other accountable, be intentional, and make sure that we are saving our coins in 2022. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah.